Welcome back for our second draw of the day from the Coyotes Curling Club in Tempe, Arizona. This is the Ed Werenich Golden Wrench Curling Classic. My name is Sean Murray, and today we're bringing you this pool play matchup between Team Jordan Peters and Team Jasmine Gibault. Team Peters is playing the red stones. Gibault is the yellow. Pre-game draw to the button. It was Team Peters that was successful in getting the hammer to start this game. First rock goes in, the hit is made. And second shot for the Gibault lead, Guillaume Boivet. Relatively simple start to this game. Team Peters comes into this match 0-3. Still looking for their first win. Team Gibault sits at 1-2. Still has a pass at the playoffs. Boivet rolls out on his hit, so second stone of the end for Team Peters lead Emerson Klimke. Looking to set up a corner guard. No mistake. Nicely placed. Right next to Eddie in the ice there. This is our first look at the second for Team Gibault. This is Marc-Antoine Biron. I was very grateful to these guys for assisting me in getting their name pronunciations right. I know less than no French. I was definitely going to butcher all their names if I did not ask, so they helped me out, and I hope I'm saying it correctly. Biron's attempted come around. Gets behind the guard, but it's a good ways deep. So throwing second for Team Peters. This is Sean Flatt. Wants to get under that corner guard. Like to keep it in front of the tee line if you can. Hard to get this by. It looks like they are just by. Now it's about where will it stop. Looks like it's going to go all the way down to the back one. Almost pushes it out. So a little strong, but at least they got it by. This play entirely around the corner guard definitely favors the team with hammer. And that is Team Jordan Peters throwing the Redstones. Second shot this end. Doesn't quite get around the guard. Maybe just a hair lighter. Rex and spins to a center guard. Not bad. Still definitely usable stone for them. A little bit of cross-sheet broom sloppiness there from Team Peters. They were attempting to come around, and they ended up pushing that Gibault rock in the rings, and Gibault now sitting shot. I am told by reliable sources that apparently Team Gibault has the coolest pregame handshakes. I'm kind of sad I missed it. Apparently it involves slap, slap, something. They're very nice guys, so I can see them doing that. This is our first look at the third for Team Gibault. This is Sylvain BELLAVANCE. Looking to draw in and sit two. It's by the guard. Should finish just about right down to the backbone. Bounces off a bit, but sits the two. A good shot. His first shot of the game. Team Peters third. Adam flat. Looking for the hit and roll. Try and get a couple underneath that corner guard. This is moving hard. They got to go to save this one. Makes the hit, rolls away. Almost makes the double, actually. I think it is just good enough for Red to be sitting two, so not exactly how they called it, but a decent result. So now Sylvain. He goes by Sylvie, he goes by Sylvester. So he says. Sylvain BELLAVANCE looking for a hit and roll, potentially a thin double. Uh-oh. Oh, it goes right by. Unfortunate result there. It's pretty close, but it looks like the back red is definitely first shot, and second is definitely close. But I believe that Team Peters in red is sitting two at the moment. But in any case, they're going to continue to make use of that tight guard. Try and get another one around it. Looking to set up a good score to start this game. Well, it looks okay, but it's got to finish. Might have buried an inch, or it could just be edge to edge, but it gets in there to sit what I believe to be three reds. So now skip Jasmine Gibault. Looking for a long hit and roll. He also goes by Jazz. Makes the hit, but doesn't roll anywhere except away. Team Peters still sitting what I believe to be 2. Peters discussing where best to place this first shot of the end for Skip Jordan. Already sitting 2. They'd like to try and score 3 if they possibly can. Looks like they've decided to just hit the back one. So good result, a little hit and roll, and no question now Team Peters sitting 3. Gibault only has 1 stone left to try and bail his team out of a little bit of heat this end. Scary as it is, the best shot may be simply to draw down to those back ones. As long as you get down close to them, you can get out of this end, at worst giving up 2 or potentially even forcing Peters to 1. So last shot of the first end for Jasmine Gibault. Kind of a big shot here. Running like it might be a little heavy. You really don't want to be heavy on this one. Oh boy. To a stop in the back 8 foot. Peters sitting 1, but not too tough to push that out. You don't even need to push it out. You can just push it back a foot or 2. That would be a score of 4 for Team Peters. So it looks like it's actually Adam Flatt that is throwing the last rocks for Team Peters in this game. So this is Adam Flatt looking for a nose hit. Pick up a big 4. Well, make the hit, lose the shooter, but save the back one, and that'll be good enough for a score of 3. Team Peters to take an early lead over Team Jasmine Gibault from Quebec. Heading into the second end, Gibault going to need to get a few more rocks into position, try and set up a score. Team Peters is 0-3 so far in this event. Haven't really had the start they wanted. Looking to get on the board with a win in this game. They've had a decent season. They're currently sitting at number 58 on the World Curling Tour points list. The season record up to this point is an even 500, 19 wins, 19 losses. They play a lot in Manitoba. They finished in the quarterfinals of the MCT Atkins Curling Supplies Classic. Then a couple of semifinals, the MCT Curling Cup and the MCT Showdown. And most recently made it to the final of the MCT Championships. So decent season for them. This team Gibault, this is actually the first spiel for this particular lineup. The 3 leading guys, all but the lead on this team, won bronze in the 2024 Quebec Tanker. That's the men's provincials. They're first spiel for this particular lineup. And with the first stone from Emerson Klimke of Peters sliding all the way to the back 12, this is Guillaume Boivin just looking to set up a corner guard, and Team Gibault going to try to get some offense going. Joined in the booth by the czar of this Bonspiel, our own Mike Siggins.
It's a wonderful French accent you have there, Sean.
Well, as I said before, I saw that this game was going to be one I was doing, and I saw these French names, and I just started sweating, panic sweating, because I speak absolutely no French, and so I went out there and asked them how to pronounce it, and they said, "Oh, your French is really good," and I said, "What French?" So I appreciate it.
Not to mention yet, but these guys also have the coolest pregame handshakes I've seen for any curling team.
I was mentioning that, and
yeah.
I'm sad I missed it.
Yeah, have to watch out for the next draw.
Okay.
It's pretty solid. Something to aspire to for our team.
I wouldn't go that far. Some Klimke looking for a hit and just goes right by. So, not a fantastic start to this end for Team Peters. Boivin now looking to guard that stone that he put in the rings, and this looks pretty good.
It is always nice when you throw your guard in the house if the opponent flashes it for you.
That's always helpful,
yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's like, I missed, oh, then you miss? Okay, well, I better make my next one then. So no mistake there. So I've just been corrected that even though this team is listed as Jordan Peters on curling zone, it's actually Adam Flatt that is skipping and throwing last. Apparently Peters is playing third. Appreciate the correction there. So that was Sean Flatt trying to come down and sit in front of that yellow Gibeau stone. Doesn't quite get there for a shot, but still in a decent position. This is Marc-Antoine Biron trying to make a little play on it. Taps it back, but decent result.
Pretty good result. The teams are getting a lot more curl, I think, today than I've noticed. So he was able to get almost to the nose of that one. I think that shot might not have been possible on Thursday.
We're noticing in the last draw that teams were trying to get behind corner guards, center line out, and they just didn't really seem to be finishing all that much.
Yeah, that's been pretty consistent. Once you get off the 4-foot lines, the in-out gets a little bit straighter, it seems.
Okay. So we'll have to just keep an eye on that and see if that holds up. One thing I was also thinking about last draw is with it being like that, I haven't really seen a lot of teams try to come around the corner guards from the outside in.
Yeah.
Off the sideline. Sean Flatt's second shot of this end. He's being asked to hit the back 8-foot Yellowstone. Makes the hits. It's right there. Tim Peters sitting 2.
Well, just right on cue here. Who's your outside to in around the corner guard?
Oh, maybe not.
Maybe not. Seems like that tap might be a run. Might be a little bit easier.
For the game, I was talking to these guys, and they were telling me how to pronounce their names, and it was mentioned that Jasmine does play mixed doubles, plays competitively in that discipline, as does Sylvain. Sylvain also plays in seniors and masters, so he's a busy guy.
Does not look that old.
No, not even a little bit. I hope I look half that good when I'm that age.
This is the first French Canadian team we've had down, which has been really cool. Like just the reach of this spiel and the teams that are willing to travel. We've had we got three teams from the Maritime provinces that came all the way down.
You have the team from Japan is here as well.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
We've had a South Korean team here before. We've had Chinese Taipei. It's been really cool to see a lot of these international teams or ones that travel real far to get here.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, some of the New Brunswick guys there are talking to me. A couple of them had a 41-hour travel time here with all the delays and everything.
Oh my.
That sounds brutal.
That sounds really nasty. We appreciate them for coming down here and getting some time in the sun. I like to think that just being where we are is one of the draws for teams that come here.
Oh, for sure.
Team Peters just ripping off the guard. First stone of the end for Sylvain BELLAVANCE. Just being asked to essentially freeze on the red shot stone in the 4-foot. Still have a good chance of setting up a multiple point score.
Yeah, even without any guards.
Yeah. Looks like this needs to move. This might be a little heavy.
And sit out. Yeah, interesting decision here. Like, you're up by 3. Probably a little bit nervous at these. There's 3 yellows in the house right now, but at the same time, it's tough not to jam somewhere.
Yeah, it's tough to do a whole lot with them. I mean, you don't just want to concede two. I mean, if there was a simple way to just hit that second shot yellow, you might take that on, but your reds are going to be very, very close together.
Yeah. Well, and they're probably going to be gone if you get rid of that second shot rock.
Right. Going to make a play on this top one. We're talking about maybe trying to make the around the horn triple if you hit this just right. That's
if you can kill 2 of them, though, it's not bad.
Yeah, this is close. Just jams it on second shot. Being asked to just freeze on the red Peters stone on the side of the forefoot. Once again, this one looking like it's a little heavy.
Come off the yellow, it might work though.
Not bad. Tough to get rid of more than one.
Hammer the outside one.
Yeah, that's the other shot. If you could ever catch about half of the what's basically, I'd say, 5th shot right now.
Probably I'll go. But if you don't get it just right, you might kill your reds and leave them sitting too.
Well, what could happen is if they hit it a little too thin and it actually hits the yellow that's in the middle there, it could actually just sort of tick, and you only get rid of one yellow.
Yeah. A little bit of insurance by leaving your shooter around and playing something softer.
Yeah.
They can sit 1, 3, 4. It's going to be hard to bring that other yellow into play.
Very tough.
This is curling.
This is really moving hard. I gotta be careful that this just doesn't just spin onto the back red. Ooh. Just gets it out of the house. Looks like Jabot is now sitting 2nd and 3rd. It's close for 3rd. If you're just hitting this back red no matter what.
Yeah, I think so.
You sit a sure 2.
Maybe if you get lucky, you get a miss, and you might get a chance to make a play on that 3rd shot rock.
Right.
Freeze would be a very aggressive call. It's made it's pretty good, though.
Yeah, you better make it if you're going to be bold enough to call that, though.
That looks like this is the original call. They hit and maybe roll away just a little bit.
Yeah, roll kind of to where the broom is. I think that's the smarter call.
Yeah,
at this stage.
Kind of secure your deuce, get back in the game.
Exactly. We have 34 viewers at the moment. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. This is Sean Murray alongside Mike Siggins. This is the Ed Werenich Golden Wrench Curling Classic from the Coyotes Curling Club, Tempe, Arizona. 4th pool play matchup between these teams. Jasmine Jabot throwing yellow. Jordan Peters throwing red. Team Jabot looking to sit a couple here. Just to curl to stay. Make the hit, and they're going to lose the shooter out the back door, unfortunately.
Bummer. Just a nose hit should get rid of those yellows.
Yeah, they should fly pretty easy. Really no worries about jams, I don't think. We'll just make these go away. Don't worry too much about saving the shooter. Nose hit or almost anywhere a little bit high side, they should both fly. So Adam Flatt's last shot, the second end. Nose hit double. That should be good enough to get a force. No mistake.
Yep.
Ends up sitting 3.
Be a draw against 3 and a force here.
A little bit of early pressure on this last stone of the second end for Jasmine Jabot. Drawing against 3, but just needs to be full 8 foot to count their single. Sweeper's working it pretty hard, but no worries there. Piece of the 4 foot, good enough for a single point for Team Jabot. Team Peters with Adam Flatt skipping the game is going to go into the third end up 2 with the hammer. Probably going to see a centerline guard here from Team Jabot lead Guillaume Boivet. Doesn't quite get back to the center line. Emerson Klimke for Team Peters going to be looking to make the intern come around. Hard to get by. Doesn't quite get by, but since that stone wasn't touching the center line, that is not a no-tick rule violation. So stones stay as they are. Ends up basically setting up 2 corner guards, which really is not a bad outcome for Team Peters at all. Took that center line guard back for Boisvert. Nicely done. Down 2 without. They definitely want Stones in the front. They need to junk it up. So far, mission accomplished. Emerson Klimke looking to make the intern come around everything. Sweepers aren't showing any interest in this. A little bit heavy, goes back 8 foot. Creates an opportunity for the Gibault second, Marc-Antoine Biron, to follow that down, sit right in front of it. Going hard to get this by. You do get it by. How does it have the weight? Just deep enough to be sit and shot. Well played. Now 2-point lead, and things not setting up the way that they wanted. Team Peters and their second, Sean Flatt, going to start cleaning it up. Try to clear a couple of guards. Instead makes the run back and picks the Gibault stone out. So not what they were trying to do, but a decent result. But the guards are still there, and Biron will just be able to do the same shot he just played. Everybody out to swoop this one. Must be a little bit lighter. Pretty good. Just shy of the tee line. Well done again. Sean Flatt going to get another chance at this double peel. Try to clear the red and yellow that's in the center. Ooh, ooh. Oh, really nice result on that. Makes the double peel, drives it back, and picks out the Gibault stone as well. You couldn't get any more from that if you tried. Excellent result for Team Peters. So looking like they had a good setup for a while, and now not much happened for Team Gibault now this end. No choice but to hit that red stone. Hit is made, but shooter rolls out. With nothing but a corner guard in play, Team Peters can take a no-pressure crack at maybe getting it to this end and extending their lead. Team Peters sitting at 0-3, still looking for their first win of the event. And, with this being 16 pools, best finish they can hope for now is 2 wins, 3 losses. And with 2 other teams in their pool already at 3 wins, the playoffs is not going to happen for these guys. So it's just about finishing strong, stringing some shots together.
And I'm sure they got provincials coming up too. And a lot of times this event is not about winning it, but just about getting some momentum going into that.
Exactly.
Which is obviously much more important for them.
Absolutely.
And this BELLAVANCE team, they're at 1-2. I'm not sure the way the tiebreakers would work, but they'd have to win out to be in contention with the 2 teams sitting at 3 wins already, Werenich and Abe. In case anyone is wondering, for this pool or other pools, there are no tiebreaker games in this event. Not quite enough time for it. But any tiebreakers would first be head-to-head, and if that can't decide it, it goes to LSD. The other pools are all very close. So we could have some really, really important games coming up later today, and even on the ice right now.
Some of the scores in the other games out there. You're mentioning Werenich. They lead Chase Sinnott 3-1.
Yeah, Sam just made a really good soft weight tap for 3 in the second end there.
On one of the sheets next to our feature game here, Japan's Shinya Abe leads Elliot Mansell 2-1. And on the other side, it's Cole Adams with a 2-0 lead over Daniel Kaspersrink.
So BELLAVANCE's shot. You want to sit here, or do you want to go behind the corner?
Going behind the corner is the more aggressive, more difficult play. That's the play to, well,
at least make the force more difficult.
Makes the force more difficult, yeah. For just a split second, I forgot who had the hammer. Splitting the house is the best you can do at the moment.
Yeah, going behind the corner is, you have to make it perfect, otherwise the Peters rink could use it as backing, freeze to, could potentially lead a double.
Yeah, it'd be dangerous. You need to be a little bit careful with where you place this, too. You don't want to put this in a place where Adam Flatt could potentially have a crosshouse double to sit, too. So sweepers need to talk about where this is going, and they seem to think this is
heavy,
a little warm. So hopefully this will stop about even for the Gibault team, and don't know that it will.
Well, they're sitting 2 and they're dead even, so
it stopped just in time. So that's about as good as you can do. So that pretty much takes that red that's in the top 12 there off the scoreboard.
Yeah, still a good chance at a deuce here, though. A lot of real estate to draw to.
Yes,
here.
yes. Yeah, if there's going to be a deuce this end, it'll be a skips deuce. Adam Flatt's first stone, the third end. Looking to draw around his own in the top 12. Hard to get by. I don't think it's going to get there. Can we tap this far enough to... No. Still think it's
Yellow sitting 2.
Still Jabot sitting 2. Just a little bit light.
Yeah, where's the placement here? I think probably half under those reds.
Yeah, I think you just go around them. Maybe you grab, as you say, half of the forefoot. Might even be worth not fully burying it. Let him see half of it.
Yeah.
Try to.
Yeah, that top 12 centerline shot seems good, but there's actually more 8-foot to draw to if you put it there, as opposed to trying to get a piece of those guards.
Yeah, that doesn't apply as much pressure as going half under the reds, I would say.
That looks like they disagree with us.
Well, they're out there, we're in here. So.
True.
We can defer.
So as the organizer, I have an opportunity in a forum to thank all the volunteers here that make this event go. Ice Crew Bar, Sean in here in the booth, Becky putting together streaming, all the people that are collecting entry fees at the door. It's amazing support we have here. And reminder, this is a volunteer club, so the ice makers, everyone, no one makes a lick. They're all here because they love it. That's a pretty good shot.
That'll do.
Just got to touch the forefoot here.
Of course, we also got to thank you, Mike, for being the chief coordinator, helping to run this event, doing the team communication and just getting things organized. I know that's no easy task. So it's a good event. You do a good job.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It makes it pretty easy when I have the support that I do, though. You really kind of, once it's together and all the field's set and all the teams got the draw and everything, it kind of runs itself. I can sit back and watch some great curling.
Adam Flatt looking for a draw to the forefoot, facing 3. For Team Jabot, no matter what happens here, it's mission accomplished. They'll at worst get a force.
See this movement. It should be okay.
Sweepers are not interested in it, but the weight looks decent.
Right on the lid.
Pretty good shot for not being brushed halfway.
Yep.
So
no wasted energy for the front end.
not at all. So score of 1. That's going to put Team Peters up by a score of 4-1. Team Jabot will have hammer in the fourth end and try and set up offense, trying to close the gap a little bit.
Well, if you're down by 2, it's all you can really ask for is to make them draw against 3. It's
Absolutely.
a pretty good result there.
Absolutely. Coming up in our next draw at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. Featured game will be New Brunswick's James Grattan versus our own homegrown 5 and under team, Darren Campbell.
The kids.
The youngins. How did Eric describe them last night? The oldest kids you'll ever meet, or something like that?
Yeah, well, the front end's average age is like 53, so... Back ends, they're younger than I am, so I guess... they're not too old.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, one's calling me.
So 3-point lead, Team Peters wisely electing to go in with their first one. They don't really want things to get too complicated with a 3-point lead. Team Jabot looking to establish the corner guard, and Wave might be in the rings. That's a mistake. Slipping in means it can be hit. Emerson Klimke will look to just make this go away. Or just sit right there. You could roll back to the center, I guess, if you wanted to. So second chance for Guillaume Boisvet to set up the corner guard. It's too early for Team Gibault to deal with those rocks in the rings. Sweeper's hammered on that one a good part of the way down, but ends up in a good spot. It's a nice bounce back there. Sean Flatt's first rock of this fourth end. He's going to look to come around that his own top 12 stone, get something in the 4-foot. This one running like it's a little bit strong. Settles back 8. A little deeper than he would have liked for sure. Now Team Gibault and their second, Marc-Antoine Biron. And trying to make use of that corner guard. Try and tap back the red shot stone, sit right there. Down by 3, it's fairly important that they set up a score of 2 this end. This one's on a really good line. Nicely played. Sits for second. Tough to remove because of that red stone that's now just hanging on the back edge of the tee line. So Team Peters is just going to take off that corner guard. Make it easier to deal with the Yellowstone in the rings later. No mistake on the peel. Team Gibault, it's how best do we try and set up our 2. First talked about maybe tapping that yellow to a freeze. It would be pretty simple to leave a double if they do that, so they're going to instead draw down to this back 8-foot stone. Biron's second shot of this fourth end. Again on a really good line. Overcurls the freeze by a bit, but still a really good shot. Two nice ones there from Biron. Gibault sitting second and third. Team Peters thinking about what's the best way to clean this situation up. If we want to at least get rid of one yellow, they're opting to run their own red that's in the top 12 foot into the yellow closest to it. So try and kill one yellow and also expose the back one at the same time. Instead, they drive it straight back and actually remove that back one. End up sitting 2 that way, so not exactly how they drew it up, but still a good outcome. So Sylvain Bellevance's first stone of this 4th end. She's going to try and draw around and get something in the 4 foot. Probably have to go all the way down to that back one to try and keep some separation.
Need the freeze, otherwise they can use the other yellow. This is gonna hurt.
That was somewhat heavy. Not bad though. Sits 2nd and 3rd. But now with the room that's been created, there is a yellow double here. It's a little bit long.
They can make it. They're sitting 3 separated in the house.
Exactly. Probably hitting somewhere around 3/4 of the stone, thick 2/3. Drive the high one towards the back one, hopefully catch them both. Just drives it right by. So Jabot sitting 1. Sitting 2nd, I'm sorry. Simplest play is probably just to hit the Red Peters shot rock.
I'm gonna roll somewhere though. Who knows it? I guess it'd be a pretty thin double, but
yeah, I mean, it would be really, really thin to take on. So I think if you roll anywhere, I mean, you could roll away a bit, but that would just make the angle better.
Yep. There.
Not really, yeah. Bit of an unfortunate roll on that one. There's really no danger of anything jamming on that red that's back there. I think you just hit this on the nose or just a little bit towards the center line side. These should both go.
You look at the view down the sheet here, it looks like he's missing a little piece of that. Looks more open from the overhead.
Yeah.
But certainly enough to be able to make this shot. I've been amazed all week at how these guys can dig rocks out under what's relatively straight ice.
Yeah. And most of it is about weight control.
Yep.
Realize you don't have to throw bombs away. Wait, give it to the sweepers. Let them, hold it straight and then carve it.
Yeah, I was telling the Campbell team we got coming up next, the kids that I coach them, and we were kind of reflecting on the weight these guys throw. They've got 2 takeout weights. They've got like 11, 5, and 6.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Miscue on that one. That's a wrecking.
And they're both out of the house now. That's a unforced error there.
Maybe he just didn't quite get out to the broom, so now it's about...
It has been curling more today. Could be that too.
Yep. They could be moving more than they expect for sure. So now is Jabot's first bit of a chance. Talking about where do we place this that we can... First thought has to be securing the 2. Talking about either in front of their yellows or over to the side. Might be a little leery putting it in front of those. I'd be worried about
they're
a triple of some
They're
kind.
going to take a crack at the triple for
They
sure.
absolutely will. The safer play is just put it over on the side.
Yep. Let them make the double.
Yep, and then
You got your two.
Exactly.
And you're only down by one.
So looking to put this around, say, 2 o'clock, 2:30 over on the right there.
Just full 8.
Just full 8. Even if it has still nibbles a little piece of the 4, that's not bad. No closer than that, though.
This one's not light.
Should probably just go down to the
Go
back.
down to the back
then.
one.
Yeah, that's what the line it has. Now just play the freeze, I suppose. Okay, well, not what was called, but not a bad outcome. I don't think there's any way you're getting rid of all 3 of these. I think it's just about trying to clear 2.
Yep. Make the double and I think that's the shot. Make the double.
I think you're just clearing the 2 on the left. If you try something off of the 2 on the left into the
You
one
might
on the
jam on
right,
the red.
you might only
Yeah.
get rid of 1.
And you might jam in the red.
Yes. I could easily see you try that. It just kind of bounces off the top of that and spins out the side.
Yeah.
And then Jibbo's just drawn for 3 at that point. I think just go for these 2.
And you're up by 3 too, so just
Absolutely.
make sure you take 3 out of the equation.
Yep.
Make the double. Leading hammer, always a good spot to be.
Absolutely.
All right, Eric Kowal from Kowalewska has just brought the wrenches. They are in the house. That's exactly what you were talking about there, Sean.
Yeah, I don't know if they were actually trying to do that. I feel like
Yeah, I think they're just trying to make the nose double.
yeah, and just a little wide, and sure enough, catches a little fat, spins off the top and out the side, and all of a sudden, Jibbo with a big chance to tie this game.
Yeah, talk about all of a sudden.
Yeah,
2 shots. They went from pretty tough force to drawing for 3.
yeah. Those are definitely 2 shots that Adam Fred is going to want back.
Yep.
So just looking for paint here. Jasmine Jibbo's last stone of this 4th end.
Oh, it's really coming off it. Secrets, that's fine. I'm going to say they were not interested in this for a minute there.
Yeah, I always get nervous when I see no broom at all. I'm always worried about a pick, but no mistake. It's going to go in the books. It's a score of 3 for Jasmine Jibbo. And they tie this game at 4-all after 4 ends. So again, as mentioned, the keeper trophies, the golden wrenches that each player of the winning team gets, has been brought into the house by the Kowal and Kowalewska, Eric Kowal.
Thank you, Sean. Happy to be back. Happy to do the wrenches again. A few years now we've been supplying them, and it's, a labor of love.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so thank you. Those of you that probably see the logo in the ice as well, check out our website. We have a lot of stuff that's part of our general catalog, but we also do quite a bit of custom work, such as these wrenches. We've done a few professional golf tournament trophies and work for other professional sports teams as well. So it's always, you never know who's going to come knocking on your door.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's some cool stuff you guys make.
Thank you.
Some quick score updates around the sheets. We've got Sam Muibrick has a 3-2 lead over Chase Sinnott. Shinya Abe now leads 3-1 over Elliot Mansell. Dan Casper grabbed a 3 and now has a 3-2 lead over Cole Adams. So Team Gibault definitely got a gift at the end there. They were looking like they were going to be forced, and then just a couple of miscues on Adam Flatt's last 2 shots there opened the door, and Team Gibault grabbed 3, tied the game up, and now it's a 4-end game.
Yeah, and it's one of those things you talk about and you hear in other sports, just momentum and how it shifts and swings. If this isn't a momentum swinging moment, I probably don't know what one is moving forward.
Yeah, that's a big one for sure. So Emerson Klipke setting up the corner guard. So now Guillaume Boivet's second shot, going to try to put that center guard up. No mistake there, my center guard. Currently sitting at 36 viewers joining us on this midday Saturday. The Ed Werenich Golden Wrench Classic. The Coyotes Curling Club, Tempe, Arizona. This is Sean Murray, Eric Quall alongside. I've also been joined in the first part of the game by Mike Siggins, the event coordinator. Fourth match of pool play between these two teams. This is Jordan Peters of Manitoba team playing the Red Rocks. Quebec team Jasmine Gibault playing yellow. Team Peters 0-3, looking for their first win. Team Gibault 1-2. Looking for a win to keep themselves in the hunt for the playoffs. That was Team Peters' plan and come around to their corner guard on the wide side.
Which you're a fan of, as we talked about last night.
I actually was talking about that with Mike earlier. I said that teams that seem to be having trouble burying off the center, like especially the morning game between John Schuster and Scott Dunham. Dunham, especially in the fourth end, I believe it was, spent multiple times trying to get behind corner guards coming off the center, and they just would not finish. And I've been saying, I wonder if teams will start trying to come around the wide side more. Yellowstone from Team Gibault second, Marc-Antoine Biron. Gets nicely behind the center guard, just gets deep enough for shot.
Sounds like you did your Duolingo lesson this morning.
I was, well, as I said to Mike, when I saw the lineup of this team and I saw it was a Quebec team and I saw the names, I started panic sweating because I do not speak French. And so, fortunately, I was able to find these guys before the game, and I had them educate me on proper pronunciation because I'm a stickler for that, and they really helped me. And they said, "Oh, your French is good." And I said, "What French?" There is no French. Oh dear. So Sean Flatt trying to peel and just breezes by everything. Now with an unexpected gift there, Jasmine Gibault and Sylvain Bellavance going to talk about what to do here.
Yeah, they've got a couple of options they're discussing. First they talked about, trying to clear those reds. Then they talked about, clearing one red and rolling underneath. Now it looks like they're just discussing just the straight draw.
Yeah. I mean, this is definitely a great setup to force or potentially steal. Just talking about how best to take advantage of it. You don't often at this level get just a flat miss from the opponent, and it's really important to capitalize. Looks like they've settled on the last of the options you talked about. Just going to play the straight come around. Guard really not in play on this kind of shot. You're just drawing around the one in the rings. So it's important to call it like that. Even if it ends up a hair deep, I think it's important to get this one buried.
It looks like it's hanging out there a bit.
Yeah, it's got decent weight, just not moving. Really good weight, but it's not close to buried, so I'm not sure what happened there. Team Peters with Adam Flat skipping. Opting to, they're going to make a play on the center guard. Going to try and drive it towards the Yellowstone just placed there. See if they can get 2 for 1. Sean Flat looking to make up for his error on his first one. Just makes the peel. Nothing wrong with that.
And the guard's going instantly back up, right?
Yes.
Like that's, I realize the one sitting shot off to the side in the 8-foot, but ultimately, when all said and done, that's not going to be a scoring rock.
Very unlikely.
Not worth protecting that one.
No, the way you're going to force, and this may sound counterintuitive to some players, is the way you're going to force is actually by guarding the second shot, by guarding the middle. That's where the play is going to be happening. And they do have the force set up at the moment. Mistake there from BELLAVANCE. Guard's a little bit higher than the last one, so it could provide an opportunity maybe to go for the second shot stone in the rings.
And it does look like they're going to chase it probably with soft weight given the ice.
Yeah, probably just throw like a hack to board, give or take. This is really about just clearing the middle a little bit and making sure theirs stays around. Looks pretty good. It's a little finish. Catches it thinner. Unfortunately, loses it out the side, and
I feel like that call on that throw was better than the result.
Yes, yeah, that was kind of a bad luck outcome on that. I feel like they threw about the weight they wanted. I'd say that was probably maybe a quiet board weight. They caught the first one just a little too thin and spread them out and left Jibbo still sitting too. A little bit of tough luck on that one. Maybe they were counting on a little bit more finish past the guard.
Yeah. With it being higher, right?
Yes. So Jibbo now in a great position to force. They're going to keep the pressure on, keep going around the center. It's not quite going to get to the house. As I mentioned previously, this is the first spiel for this particular lineup from Quebec. All but the lead on this team played in the Quebec men's provincials last year and won the bronze. the skip, Jasmine Jabot himself, also does competitive mixed doubles, as does Sylvain Bellavance. On top of mixed doubles, Bellavance also does seniors and masters. So he's a busy guy.
I'm just thinking about how my knee feels after playing a couple nights a week, let alone that much.
And seriously. And as Mike was saying in here earlier, like, it's hard to believe that Sylvain is actually Masters eligible. He doesn't look that old at all.
That
like,
too. Good call.
I said, well, I hope I look half that good when I'm that old. You know?
Good, clean Quebec living, I guess.
Right? Yeah, seriously. So, definite miscue there on Jordan Peters' second shot of this. And tip come around, came up short, wrecked. And it's now kind of a mess for Tim Peters with the hammer. They've got some work to do to make sure they can score this end. Team Jabot sitting 2, getting ready to throw it.
With a mess in the middle.
With a big mess, yeah. Nothing all that easy.
You know, not to belabor the point, but you know how that previous end finished with that jam and the you know, I kind of talked about the momentum shift, and now you have the flashed hit.
Yeah,
it really feels like you can feel it at this point.
Yeah, it's like, you know, the 2 skip rocks from last end were both definite miscues that opened the door for the 3. You had the flashed peel, and then this come around here short and wrecked. And
a little unlucky with that other tap, that board waiter that they had that left them sitting 2.
Yes.
I mean, it's just kind of the wheels you can feel are they feel like they're getting a little loose.
They're getting a little bit wobbly for sure.
So in that situation, what do you do to retighten everything?
Well, it really comes down to just it really comes down to making just one shot, you know, and whether it's, you know, a nice come around or a nice hit and roll or something, just one shot to kind of get everybody back into believing, okay, yes, we know how to do this. Because it's really easy to start thinking, wow, we just suck today. And obviously, you're not going to get anywhere if you start thinking that way. And usually that kind of shot ends up falling on the skip or at least the third. So one of them at some point is going to have to make a good one. And this is a really good opportunity to do so right here. This is Adam Flatt's first shot of this 5th end. If he can make this come around and get down there and get shots sewn, that would really, really do a lot to try to bring the momentum back in his team's favor, because it's definitely going against them at the moment.
You know, you loop a good one in here, a skip's deuce isn't out of the question.
Absolutely.
Right? Because of the mess up front.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, and up till you get to the point where that one shot is made that kind of brings everyone along, the most you can do is just try to just stay within the moment, remember your processes. You know, try not to think too much about, you know, what could happen or what's going to happen. Just focus on what you know how to control.
You make it sound so easy.
There's theory and then there's execution, for sure. Was it Yogi Berra that said 90% of the game is half mental?
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah, something along that line. But it's true.
Yes. This is a long ways wide of the guard. This has to curl just to even get there. Bounces off, doesn't stay.
Yeah, it doesn't even stay for second. That's a tough break.
No, that's really bad. But also, it pushed that yellow pretty much fully buried now. So just a little strong. A little too much weight on that one. Yeah, that was not a simple shot by any means, but there's a number of places where it could have ended up better than where it did. So this is, no matter where this final stone from Team Jabot ends up, this is going to be a really ugly hammer shot for Adam Flatt on his last. He may end up having to play a raise or something on one of his own, and those are never fun.
So, okay, let's look a shot ahead. If you play the raise, do you play a raise on the guard on the right or the one in the house? It's a shorter raise, but it's a steeper angle.
I feel like the one in the house would at least cut it down. It's going to depend a lot on where this ends up. If this ends up not being third shot, I feel like the one in the house is probably a better chance of at least cutting it down. Because you cut it down to 1, you're only down 1 with the hammer. But if this ends up right in front of that one, almost touching the forefoot, it's going to be really tough to score shaving that side one in because you're just catching a piece of it. And then it's like, well, what's the line out here? What kind of weight do I throw? I only want to move it 4 feet.
Yeah, and that's why I ask, is it's a shorter distance but a steeper angle versus a line and a straight back?
It's tough. It's tough. It's not going to be pretty. So it being short, I think maybe the one in the house is the better choice.
And that's the one they're tapping.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised that came up as short as it did from what they were discussing.
Yeah.
I wonder if it maybe picked or just they changed the call from the hack and were unaware. They said, hey, let's just guard what we have.
That's very possible. Yeah, who's to say? But yeah, the way this end has gone for Team Peters, I think getting out of this, giving up a steal of only 1 will actually feel pretty good. Because they could easily be in much more trouble than they are right now. Last rock 5th end. This is Adam Flat. Basically just trying to push this red stone that's third shot. Be nice to get it into the forefoot and score, but as long as they make contact. Looks like it's on the guard. Oh boy. Yeah, just all kinds of stuff going wrong that end for Team Peters, Team Flat. That's going to be a steal of 2.
And that's after giving up a 3.
Yeah, that's 5 points in 2 ends so far. So from having a 3-point lead, now Team Peters finds themselves down 2. Jasmine Gibault taking their first lead of this game, 5-3. No, I'm sorry, 6-4. So 6th end coming up. Team Peters is going to need to.
It's a good
turn things
lesson.
around.
There's a good lesson there too about if you get down early, don't give up.
Absolutely.
Right? We don't know the outcome yet, but they've at least it's a game now.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, curling being what it is, you don't know what's going to happen. Stuff happens, an odd miss creeps up here and there, and Team Gibault has been taking advantage of some mistakes here by Peters in the last couple ends. So now with a 2-point lead. This is the Gibault lead. Guillaume Boivet puts this right on the top of the forefoot. Nicely done.
Yeah, just keeping the pressure.
Yeah. Yep.
You might even say wrenching down on them.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
The Team Peters, it's realizing that the game is certainly not out of hand. It's just 2 points. We just get 2, tie it up here. Still a game.
Yeah, you get your deuce, you force them, you get your deuce, and
you win.
You win.
There you go.
That's simple.
Absolutely. And the last couple ends have not really gone the way they wanted, but there's still plenty to happen. So,
well, like you said, it starts with 1 shot.
yes. Yep. Some corner guard up there from Emerson Klimke. Guillaume Boivet with his second of this 6th end. I'll put one in front of that stone that he put in the forefoot a moment ago.
Is that girl, boys? Girl!
Nicely done. Maybe just a tad higher than Gibault would have wanted, but still gets in front of it. Just touching the center line.
Yeah, it's kind of no man's land on the depth as far as trying to put it out even higher up or lower, right? It's that kind of
sort of
dreaded
in between.
2.5 versus a good 3 or a 1, right?
Yeah. I mean, you're guarding a single stone. I think you'd rather be tighter than higher, so it's good. I mean, it does the job. And Peter's really no choice but to just come in and try and freeze on this, and knowing that they can't rub the guard at all. Finish is pretty good. And bumps that Jabot stone behind the tee line. Good shot. Eric, what's your take on the no-tick rule? Do you think it's been good for the game in general, or are you kind of ambivalent about it?
I see the merits as somebody who plays lead and has had a career playing lead, who spent a lot of time practicing the tick. I still wish it was available as a weapon, as a tool. It's by no means a gimme, right? And you want to create offense. I think it helped create offense. I really do. It's as good as a guard, and I'd seen it executed a few different ways, how you hit and roll in, and even in the mixed doubles side where they've, a lot of times on the power play they'll tick that.
Yes.
They'll tick their own stone in now.
Yep.
And lose the shooter and stuff. I don't understand at times why you take away tools from players.
Well, I think I agree with you on that point, definitely. But I think the concern was that, especially at the top levels, the leads were getting too good at the tick shot. Like there's no point in throwing a guard because they're going to tick it basically every time. Like, for example, on the women's side of the game, Lisa Weigel for Holman was like automatic with it. So I can kind of see both sides. I definitely get your viewpoint. That was a really good shot.
That was really nice. I'll say even this though, outside of that, there was a discussion out in the war room the other day. The tick rule is optional based on the skips.
Yes.
The free guard zone is not.
Yes.
Something I would like to see is make them both optional or both not optional, just to keep continuity within the rules and to keep it simple.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Sure. As in, either you play them both or you don't play either one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, like you get the option, right? Like, because if you hit in the free guard zone, if you hit one out, it goes back automatically.
Yes.
As the opposing skip, you don't get to say, hey, you know what? I'm fine with that stone coming out of play.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But on the tick,
it's optional.
Say, yeah.
Yes, you're right. So, like you're saying, if it's ticked, it should just go back, no discussion.
Yeah, or you change the rule the other way on the
free guard zone.
Just keep the continuity within the rules.
Sure. No, that makes sense. Don't have one be mandatory and the other be optional.
Correct.
I see.
Yep.
I see. No, there's a lot of merit in that. I see that.
That and my single hack we talked about last night.
Yeah. I feel like that's going to be tougher. I don't know why, but I feel like that's going to be tougher.
Forget about broom fabric and foam and everything else. A single hack and continuity and rules.
Yeah, right, exactly. Broom hack, broom foam, that's all foo-foo stuff. Nobody cares about that. Team Peters sitting one, but kind of surrounded by Jabot stones. Trying to come down into the pile, comes up a little bit short. Team Peters wanting to get two to tie this game. There's not a lot of real estate to do so at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like they're talking about with this stone basically drawing, setting up the force.
Yeah, that would definitely be reason. That would definitely be the way to go because right now the way this is set up,
you get hammer back and you're up one.
Yeah. That yellow stone that's just top four in front of the shot stone is in such a good position for them. talking about guarding this setup. I don't mind that, but I feel like they need to be careful where they put it. If they put it too tight to the rings, they could just leave Team Peters a relatively short double run into the pile, which, if struck correctly, could get both of those yellows flying. I feel like if they guard it, they need to be a little bit higher. Kind of about where that yellow guard is right now.
Yeah, and it's funny, you no more say that, and then they tap, 3-4 feet higher than where they were tapping.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I think at the very deepest, you only want to be as far about where Eddie is. Like, not even as far as that corner guard. A couple rocks higher than that, I think, would be about as far as you want to go.
Yeah, probably about even with the cactus.
Yeah. Yep, like even with the top part of the cactus, yes. So we'll see what Sylvain BELLAVANCE gives us. His first stone of the sixth end.
Whoa!
Uh-oh. Little spill. None the worse for wear.
Yeah.
Ice is slippery, remember that.
I can't remember I first heard it, but the most common thing hurt on a fall in the curling ice, your pride.
I would not disagree with that. Absolutely. So they might have liked that maybe just a couple feet deeper, but still decent spot.
Yeah, for me, I think it was more about the line than the depth.
Yeah,
yeah. So they were talking high, right?
Yes.
Is it higher than they were wanting? Yeah.
A little bit.
But it's still, it's doing the job.
It's mostly doing the job. The only concern is that because it's higher, I wonder if it left a port between these yellows. And assuming you can negotiate that port, can you get a good result? So it will definitely make contact with that red that's top 8 foot.
Well, and even if you don't, it's probably narrow enough that you also, though, at this point, clear both of them out, and you might wiggle down in close to the rings, right?
Yes, if you end up rubbing one of them, it might kind of rattle, come spinning into the house somewhere. Sure, yeah,
right, because it's tight.
Yep. Yeah, I think you can definitely get through there, but I think you got to only think about not only getting through there, but what are we trying to do after we get through. So Jordan Peters throwing third is going to see what he can do with it. It looks like it's on the center. So actually careens over and takes out their own corner guard as well. Again, just not quite hitting things where they want to. Would have been better to hit a little bit more of that, and as you say, rattle off the side one, probably come straight back into the house almost. Or at least get some more in the rings with this setup. I don't even know that you need to hit that red. I wonder if you just guard it.
That's what I was just going to say. You just put a guard up on your last stone.
Yeah.
They removed a guard.
Yeah.
Why not put the guard back up?
Well, and the thing is, I feel like if you're guarding one, you just guard the red. Because, Team Peters has no play on the situation in the forefoot. There's nothing they can do that won't kill their own rock. But Team Gibault opting for the hit. This is not wrong. There's definitely more than one way to skin a cat.
The other night, speaking of that, there was a member here, and they were talking about how recently they hired a new coworker, and they were talking about how to go do about some tasks, and she had said, there's more than one way to skin a cat. And I said, yeah, and she goes, do you know what that reference is about? And I said, yeah, catfish. Mm-hmm. And she goes, I've been saying it for years, and I never knew it was about catfish.
Oh, jeez.
I was like, what if you into like, whoa.
Literally cats?
I don't know. I didn't take the conversation much further.
Jeez. But as it happens, they did try to hit that red, and Really unfortunate result. They overcurled and jammed it into the pile and left Peters sitting 2.
Right, just return the gift from a couple ends ago, where if you put that guard up,
Yeah.
you take all of that out of the equation.
Yep. I don't really see what hitting that top red was really going to get them, to be honest. All it was ever going to do was open up the middle and give Team Peters a chance to make a play and scatter stuff around themselves, but you ended up making it for them. But yeah, I really would have liked to just see them guard that situation. They were sitting really good for a force, and now Peters looking good to score a couple here.
Yeah, 4 foot's wide open.
If you ever bring one kind of into the top 8, sort of half in front of that top
Right.
red and half under the guard.
Yeah, just Christmas tree it a little. Yep.
Absolutely. This is not going to get there. So.
Lock it on. Okay.
Well, now you hope you haven't left a triple, which I feel like is probably there.
Well, yeah, and I'm looking at that. The other thing I was wondering is the way that pocket's kind of set up, and maybe this is the mixed doubles in me. Why not just draw to that one that's at the back of the button? It's tricky, but if you lock it in there,
Well, if there was a way to get directly to the face of that, maybe so. I don't know that you can do that. I think at best you're going to get to half of it, and even if you could, they could just still fire that one just thrown right onto it. And also 2-point lead.
fair. Yeah.
I think this is the scoreboard dictates that you take a run at getting. It's pretty simple to get rid of 2 of these. And
Yeah,
getting the 2 is not far away from getting all 3 of them. You need to get a little bit low side here, right side as we're looking from the overhead. You need to cross the face just a hair.
Which, based on the broom placement, it looks like it's what they're trying to do.
Yeah. You definitely want some weight on this. But, yeah, it should slam the top one into the side one and spin over, catch the back one. And the one they're hitting should squirt out the left side if they hit it properly.
There you go.
Spin it up and out. Nice shot.
And just like that,
Maybe that's what he was thinking about all along. Like,
right? As opposed to not playing that guard 2 shots ago.
I don't want to throw the guard. I want to do something, and I don't want to make a hero triple. Nice shot there from Jasmine Gibault. Team Peters still has an opportunity here to maybe get 2. Play a hit and roll on this yellow Gibault shot stone. Roll to the right as we're looking at it. I think ideally you want to roll all the way under that 3rd shot that's in the top right of the house there. If you just roll under the corner, there might be an angle to actually play that stone in. So basically treat the stone in the house as your guard. So Adam flats first of the 6th end. Does not look like it's curling enough. Just right on the nose. So it just hits, stays there for shot. Now, obviously, Gibault with their last is going to be hitting, and they're just talking about what to do with it. I feel like you just leave it there. Just hit it right on the nose.
I like nose.
I think that's the best you can do. A couple of big momentum swings just in this end.
Yeah, the metronome's going crazy.
Mm-hmm. Jasmine Gibault's last. Just looking for a nose hit. No mistake. So now Team Peters, Adam Flat left with nothing but a draw to the tee line, basically. Touch a piece of the floor, pick up a single point,
And move on.
move on. Yep.
So you get one. You're down one, playing 7. How hard do you go for a steal versus a force?
I feel like you gotta go fairly hard for a steal, because even if you force down 2 in the last end is not a great position. And
You still need to steal in an
you still
extra
need to
or
steal-
get a 3.
You still need to steal in the 8th, yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like you got to play steal, because I can't think off the top of my head what the stats say about being down 2 with versus tied without in the last end. I don't think either one is good. So nice draw there, no mistake, just back 4 foot, so single point. Team Peters closes the deficit to 6-5, but Gibault will have the hammer and a 1-point advantage. It's kind of a tough position either way. I feel like you have to press fairly hard for a steal. I mean, and essentially the setup is the same if you're trying to force anyways.
Fair.
In this sense, you're throwing guards, you have to, and exactly how hard they go for it is going to depend a lot on how well they execute this end. So Emerson Klimke looking to definitely be short of the rings on this one. Hard to get it to bite the center line, and I don't know that it's quite there. I think they've agreed that it is not. So with Guillaume Boivet being asked to draw around this, doesn't have to worry about the no-tick rule. Ooh, just gets by. Nice sweeping. Slide just a shade deep, just back edge of the button. So you follow this now. I feel like,
Yeah, you lock one on.
yeah. I mean, the other alternative is to throw another guard, but
The thing is, I think if you put a guard up, they put one on top of it themselves.
yeah,
right?
and then
You gotta beat 'em there.
Yes.
Then you're in a position where you're peeling your own guards, and
Yeah. They talked about both. I think they're actually throwing the second guard for now.
Easy line. Room. Watch
excuse me. That California dust catching up to us.
So second guard goes up. I think I can understand the mindset behind throwing the second guard. They definitely need to keep a maximum number of rocks in play, because the one thing they absolutely cannot allow to happen is allow Gibault to blank this end. They cannot allow that to happen. So whether they steal one, whether they force one, there needs to be a score of some kind.
This looks to be an absolute dime.
Another really nice come around from Guillaume Boivin.
I think those stones, all 4 of them are about as equally spaced as you can get.
They're pretty, yeah. And I mean, look at the line here.
Yeah.
They're almost straight along. Sean Flatt with his first. Get something in around the button area. This needs to move and it needs to slow down. Weight wasn't too bad, just didn't quite curl. Settles in there for a second shot. Back forefoot, but it's going to be.
And yellow electing to draw in another one on top.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, I guess the way they figure with this setup, because there's almost a pocket back there, even if they do make a peel,
Yep.
or even a double peel, there's still going to be some stones up front because how straight those are.
Yep.
And if Peters ever gets one in front of those two, it's going to be really hard to get it out. So they've decided to change gears a little bit and stay on the offense and see if they can get one in there first. This one really needs to move, though. This looks like a heater. Oh boy, that's just a big unforced error right there. Throwing that one all the way to the back line. And boy, is the door ever open now for Team Peters. They got to be feeling good about their chances of maybe stealing this on with this setup.
Yeah, with that one biting back button, you get one locked on as
Yeah, behind essentially 3 guards.
Yep. And then you'll start seeing some granite fly. I think you have to at that point.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hopefully you've got enough stones left to make it happen.
Yeah. Team Jabo's going to have to change gears maybe after this one. This is curling really hard. This is not going to get past the one in the house.
So now we've got essentially 4 guards instead of 3.
Yeah, with that, there's really no clear on everything, so. Marc-Antoine Biron going to try again to make this draw. It was a little spicy on the first one. Try to cool it off a little bit here. Give his sweeper something to work with. Line's really good if the weight's good. I feel like maybe that checked up a little more than they thought, because the sweepers were totally off of it at the hog line just watching it. They only got on it at the very end and it just made the 8-foot.
Yeah, I wonder if it's starting to check up on them a little bit, right? And it's just catching that slide path to the middle.
Yeah, I mean, partway through the 7th end, it would definitely be a factor by this point. Peter's talking about what they can do here. All the stones on the center line. Steal is not out of the question, but they're also leaving quite a number of yellow Gibot stones around. So they're looking to clear a couple here. Actually makes the double and manages to not disturb their own stone. Back forefoot. Pretty good shot. Jabot does have access to that stone. Sylvain BELLAVANCE is going to take a crack at getting rid of that red. Probably best if they roll away here, kind of roll over past where the broom is a little bit. I don't think you want to nose this because that would just give Team Peters a freeze opportunity. Try to stay away from that center situation if they can help it. Makes the hit but loses the shooter out the back. Now a chance for Jordan Peters to make the in-turn come around everything. It's important that this is made well. If they have designs on forcing or stealing this end, this needs to be in a good spot. It's got pretty good line.
And wait, it looks. And opting to probably take it a little deeper to get more finish there, right?
Exactly. Yes, it's key that it get buried, even if it's a little deep, because it's still going to force Team Jabot to follow it. They can get in there for shot, but then you can just cap it off, and there's your force.
Make a yellow sandwich.
Yes. Basically some mustard between two slices of tomato.
There you go. I like it.
That actually sounds pretty good.
Teach their own.
Oh, how about worth trying? I don't know if it actually be good.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Now,
Wow.
potential steal, because if you put one on
Oh,
top
yeah.
of your own.
Yeah, now it just changed from we're looking good to force to wow, we could steal if they ever weld one on top of their own. Oh, man. They're in really good shape. Thanks for tuning in to the 51 viewers we have joining us on
Growing.
Slowly growing. Joining us on this Saturday afternoon. This is Sean Murray, Eric Cole, Coyotes Curling Club, Tempe, Arizona. This is the Ed Werenich Golden Wrench Curling Classic.
Live. I see 52 viewers, but no chats.
There has been no chatting this game, that's for sure.
Would you rather have 100 people watching and no chats, or 20 people with an active chat room?
I personally don't pay attention to the chats all that much. I like to focus on the game, so
Fair.
it's either one. I think I like the viewership. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, cool. That's why I asked the question.
Yeah.
Because right now we're kind of at neither.
Yeah, we're sort of in between, exactly. So it's like it's a moot question for this draw. But an interesting game with some momentum shifts, some good shots, some missed shots.
Yeah, this pendulum has gone back and forth a few times,
Yeah.
not only over the course of the game, but each end. But just
Oh, look at this one. Oh, what a shot.
it could be a game saver.
That could. Now that right there, remember I was talking the last couple ends about somebody needs to make a really big shot to kind of change the energy on the team.
Yep.
That could well be it right there.
No, I totally agree with where it's at for sure.
It is tough to put that in any better of a spot than that. Jasmine Gibault with his first. I can't imagine he can see more than maybe a quarter of this from the hack. This is not a great look from the hack for sure. All he's trying to do is chip the one just thrown, at least try to open up the button and hope that they can't put it back. Oh, jeez. Just feathered that red, and now I think Peters is thinking not only steal, but potentially steal of 2.
You know, they're talking about putting another one on top. If it doesn't curl, ooh.
Yeah.
I think you put one close to the rings, in my opinion.
I mean, you got to think about what's he trying. The only thing he has, I don't. It's going to be tough for Gibault to score at this point. It really is. I don't think there's any sort of draw on the side. I mean, maybe they could draw, bite the button, and cut you down to 1 on the out-turn side. The in-turn side, they're having to play some kind of a tap. And again, unless they move both reds, I don't think they're scoring. So I don't see what would be so wrong with just dropping one short of the rings on this side.
That's exactly where...
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't really see any need to bring another one in.
No, I'm with you.
I feel like that's actually going to set something up for Gibault.
If you're ever a little deep and all of a sudden now you've left them,
right.
You know,
yeah, it
some
bounces,
sort of hit and roll, it bounces.
Or a draw into a pocket or something. You could really make things easier for them by trying that.
Yeah, because right now they're pretty wired.
Oh, yeah, I don't think they have a shot. Adam Flatt's last stone, the 7th end. Could be a pretty important result here. So they are just throwing the guard. Yep, no mistake. Now for Gibault, what do they have? I think he's maybe looking at this straight, basically a quadruple run back.
Please throw it.
I know.
Please throw it.
Red, yellow, red. This could be one heck of a shot if he tries to take it on. Or he's talking about that draw, but man, that's so fine.
Throw the red, yellow, red.
Seriously, yeah. I'd love to see that. I don't know. That draw is just such a small area. I don't think
you need a third of the stone to bite the white to cut him down to 1.
Yeah. I mean, you're drawing to nothing just to cut him down to 1, and the difference between 1 and 2 is basically nothing. You could make that shot really good and get nothing out of it.
Yeah.
You could actually be biting the button and still give up a steal of 2.
Oh, they're back to looking at the red, yellow, red.
Just for entertainment value, I would love for them to play this shot. And honestly, I feel like it's probably not that it's exactly high percentage, but that draw is almost a nothing burger.
I wish you could do like the choose your own adventure, ask the audience.
Yeah, right. You pick our shot.
Yes. Because we're choosing the quad run.
Yeah, quadruple run back, maybe double. I don't know. Given how perfectly these are lined up, all it is, it's a nose hit on the high guard. Yeah. That's all it is. I mean, yes, it's got to go through the permutations and angles of hitting 3 successive rocks and more. But well, Eric, I think we're getting our wish. I think we're about to see this. I'm gonna call this a quadruple run back double attempt. High red to tight red to 12-foot red to 8-foot yellow to the 2 and the 4-foot. This would really be something.
Yeah,
And he's not throwing bombs away weight, which you don't really need to do. Over curl, nothing. That's too bad. Kind of a letdown. I'm not gonna lie.
I was going to say, like a lot of things in my life, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. I would have liked to see a little more gusto in that attempt, but I get it. Like, they were really just trying to cut him down to one, and they felt that was their best chance to do so. So I get the quiet wait. It was a little less fun, but in any case, that's going to go in the books as a steal of 2 for Team Peters, and they get the lead back. Now have a 7-6 lead, and Team Gibault will have the hammer down 1 in this 8th end. Just stops short of the rings. So this end, it'll be interesting to see how it develops, because this is going to be a case of how best to defend a 1-point lead, no hammer, in the last end.
Yeah, I think you basically just have to play as a steal.
Essentially, yes. Essentially, that's the idea. You're playing to steal or at worst force.
Yep.
As you force, it's an extra end. You have the hammer. That's a good position.
And like you said earlier, the setup for a force and the setup for a steal are essentially the same for the first 4 to 6 rocks.
Exactly. You're taking control of the middle. You're trying to shrink the scoring area to nothing, and that really tight guard. And then they're going to come around it. That's exactly the setup for really either one. If you're trying hard to steal, you might throw a second guard, which they did last end. This one here, this needs to grow teeth. That's not going to help the cause. Put it right through the rings into the garage. Now the Team Gibault lead. Guillaume Boivet, who's had a really solid game, puts up that corner guard. I believe the call was to just draw around it. Pretty good line. Just gets into the 8-foot, not maybe an inch buried or so. Pretty good shot.
Are you surprised there they kind of went the in to out versus the out to in that we've seen a couple of times this game?
You mean coming around the
wide
side?
Wide side, yeah.
We've only seen it once or twice, and I don't know that they've thrown it in this direction. I would figure they're not calling the outside in because they just don't know the ice, and maybe it's fresh out there. They don't know the speed. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, in the game this morning between Schuster and Dunham, we saw numerous attempts to come behind these corner guards from the center, and they just would not finish, just like that one didn't finish. So it might be worth thinking about.
Yeah, because it's my thought is if it doesn't finish, at least you're showing them the outside of the stone versus the inside.
Exactly. They can't roll back under the center like they could here.
Exactly.
I'm not really sure how that got by that corner guard. I think it went through it. But what a result.
And that's where, if you'd been showing him the outside, that result's just not there.
Exactly.
Excellent shot, well executed, right?
Yeah. But yeah, say if you throw the come around on the wide side and it only buries a quarter, well, they're seeing it on the outside. They hit it, they're rolling out. Then you can just keep doing that again with no fear of bringing play to the center. Choice here. Team Jabot has to deal with that situation in the middle. I don't know if they were trying to double. They got rid of one, but didn't really leave all that great of a setup for themselves because they left basically a center guard, and also where that red is in the house kind of cuts off the corner guard path. So they're going to have a little bit of work to do to try and set up their 2 for the win. Meanwhile, Team Peters has a decent setup to force at worst, potentially get an extra end with the hammer. This is Sean Flatt's attempt at an out-turn come-around. Just going to try and get around that yellow guard, get to the center. The problem's getting past the guard. It's going to slide a little bit deep. That's going to force the hand of Team Jabot. They're going to follow that down. Try and set up their 2 in the middle. Settles in back 4 shot Stone. The concern is that it is being behind the T line. Team Peters and Jordan himself can make this good freeze. I was almost wondering if they'd rather have that draw be top 4.
I was wondering that myself, or if you were to play something a softer weight hit on that red and then roll over behind your own center guard at that point, kind of like a deeper roll to top 4.
Yeah.
I don't know that you need to make a play on that one. I was just like,
No, yeah. And it could be, they were also going for line. They didn't clear that guard by much.
Yeah.
And that may have made it a little heavy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I feel like where that ended up for Team Jabot wasn't optimal.
Yeah, they're kind of just moving up, like reverse raises.
Yeah, right. So yeah, Jordan Peters draw bumps a little bit, but stays for a shot in a pretty good position. Team Jabot and Sylvain Bellavance's first. He was talking about maybe throwing the intern instead, coming across the center line, but they're going to play the same line they've been playing. Right now, this has the feelings. This feels to me like it's going to end up being a force of 1, an extra end. That's kind of just how it feels like it's going to me. get by. They do get by. Taps it on the nose. That's a really nice shot.
Well, and every time that stone gets a little bit higher, it's tougher and tougher to get to nose.
Yes.
As skinny as they are against that guard.
Yep, because it's tighter to the guard. It has less time to curl. So now Team Peters thinking about what they can do here. I don't think there's any way to bump this yellow and leave yourself shot by playing the same turn we've been playing. It looks like he's actually going to play the yellow double. You can definitely, I believe you can see more than you need to from the hack to make this. These kinds of shots, you actually need to hit much less of the target rock than you think you do. I feel like this can be made even if you only hit about a third of it. Oh, just like that. Great shot.
You know it's good when you hear the wall from the warm room.
Yes, when you hear the wows, or earlier when that triple was made, we heard some clapping out there. Yeah, we're in an enclosed office just behind the warm room, so we can definitely hear crowd reactions in here. Sylvain Bellavance's last shot, this 8th end. Going to set something up in a scoring position. You'd like to be under that guard. Ideally, would prefer not to go behind the T-line. This looks like it's cruising pretty good, though. That came in there with probably back 12 weight, bumps that some to back 8 foot. Does sit shot. For Adam Flatten is 2 shots in this, and it's basically 2 schools of thought. Do we try to remove that yellow, or do I try and freeze on it? The freeze is how you win the game right now. Put you in a really good position to potentially steal a point and win the game here, and not take your chances in an extra. I think I like that call a lot. Even if you don't get all the way there for shot, even if you're just close to in front of it, Team Chabot is not going to have a lot of room to try and score there too for the win. So going back to what I've talked about a few times in previous broadcasts is the tolerance of shots. On a shot like this, the tolerance is definitely a little bit short. I mean, you don't want to be way short. You don't want to be like a guard. But you're trying to be T-line, and if you're, say, top 8, that's completely fine. Tolerance is definitely a few feet short of the objective. So you want to give this one to the sweepers, give them a chance to place it. Curl is definitely very gradual on this line, just gets by the guard. Taps it far enough to sit 3, actually, so pretty good result.
But now with that, is it showing enough that if you come down with soft weight, kind of like he did, where you can get a cross nose and roll under, where that tap is no longer there and you still stay
in front of the T-line.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's there. That was a decent result. I mean, I don't know if the call was actually to tap it back or not, if it was just a little heavy.
Yeah.
So
Or to
no,
tap it back that much at least.
tap it back that much. Right,
Yeah.
right. So, but yeah, it's definitely there. I feel like you can see just edge to edge.
And the sweepers out of their hand are saying it looks like they think the weight is up.
Okay, that's not good. This is flying. This is not going to hit anything. Oh boy, that's a huge mistake from Jasmine Gibault. There's not a whole lot to say about that one. That's just a mental error, really. Just thinking too much about the result and maybe not enough about just throwing it properly itself. You don't need to throw a ton of weight at that. Well, my early end prediction of this looking like a force of one and an extra end is more likely now, since 2 yellow is definitely not happening. But it's going to have to be a honey of a shot from Gibault to do that. First, we got to see where Adam Flatt's final stone of the 8th end ends up. This is looking really good. Just gets inside. Oh, that's so good. Team Peters now sitting 4. And the only thing Gibault has with his hammer is to throw an in-turn draw. Got to go between his guards and try and grab a piece of the button. Going to need to pull a good one out of his back pocket here. Try to atone for the mistake on his first. Jasmine Gibault, last zone, 8th end, looking to find the button to force an extra end here. By the guard now, it just needs to settle a little bit. A little spin in. Nicely done.
Well done.
Well done. Some really good shots.
I'm wondering if he'd have done that same play on his first with that in-turn.
Yeah. Yep.
If there'd have been a way to potentially get 2 at that point.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, who's to say? But well executed in any case there.
We got bonus curling.
We got bonus curling. Yay.
And I will say this. I enjoy that they're bringing the stones down to the far end and throwing them back for the fans in the warm room to watch the extra.
Yes, exactly. That way the extra end is taking place right in front of the glass.
Yep.
That's definitely, the fans definitely appreciate that. Makes no difference to us here in the broadcast room, but it's good. It's good for the fans.
That's why we do it, for the fans.
Absolutely. Do it all.
The only fans.
No comment. So we've now increased viewership to 80.
Whoa!
Got a good
What
crowd.
about our chats? Still none?
No. We've had
Oh.
we had a couple of chats.
Oh. Any questions for the booth?
No questions.
Just telling us to shut up?
No, actually.
Oh, okay.
We had
Fair.
Brian P., whatever that is, saying you guys are doing great.
Thank you, Brian.
And we've had a comment from Lauren Niemand. Oh, God, I hate butchering names. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Saying that she's watching from Alberta, and they are so proud of Team Peters.
Yeah. Hi, Lauren. Thank you for the comment. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. But, yeah, we got a really good one here that everyone's joining us for. Tie game, extra end. This is Team Jordan Peters versus Jasmine Gibault. Gibault with a really nice draw for 1. So tie game 7-7. Peters with the hammer, throwing red
In the extra.
in the extra. This is Emerson Klimke looking to play the come around on that center line guard placed there by Gibault lead Guillaume Beauvais.
I don't know that this story will fall under the commentator's curse, but I remember I was in St. Paul a few years ago playing, in similar situation, tied after 8, brought the stones down to the far end, because we said, oh, if we throw them down that way, we're going to have to bring them back anyway, and we ended up blanking the extra.
Oh boy.
So we ended up having to throw the stones back down another time.
Anyways, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Blank extra end. Oh.
Yeah. Memories.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's the same thing, because, up there in St. Paul, they have the nice upper level viewing area
Yep.
and the whole deal, and we're like, well, let's throw it back so that way everybody can watch.
Yeah, and then you blanked it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we didn't. They did.
Oh,
but,
they did. Okay, well, still, it
yeah,
was blanked.
but it was blanked.
Yeah,
Trust me, we tried hard to score.
I'm sure you did. So, Lave's second guard, a little bit offset, not quite on the center, but still in a decent spot. As far as blanked extra ends go, I can think of one story. It was not an event I was playing in. This was Club Nationals probably 15 years ago at least, where I knew a couple of the players on one of the teams that was playing. And they ended up playing a game that went 13 ends.
That's back when it was a 10-end game.
Games were 10 ends,
Yep.
yes. They had the hammer, hit and rolled out in the 11th, hit and rolled out in the 12th, and then I think it was against 2 in the 13th, hit and rolled out, gave up a steal to lose. I will say no names. If there's one or two people in particular tuning in, I doubt they are. They will know exactly who I'm talking about, but yes. 13-end game, blank 2 extra ends, lost in the 3rd extra end.
Yeah, you know what? There's something for y'all. Drop a comment if you've been a part of a blank extra end.
Okay.
Curious to see.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sure.
How many people have had this experience?
I have personally observed I believe it was a Madison Cashspiel long ago when that was happening. I can remember observed it was a hit for 2 to win, and the hit was wide, and it ended up hitting the object rock, taking out their own rock, rolling everything out, and they blanked to lose.
Oof.
Again, if that person in particular is watching, they are going to know who it is. I will say no names.
Feel free to share your own name.
Yeah, well, good luck with that. Anyways, back to the game in front of us here. A couple of guards in play. A couple of nicely placed stones in the forfeit there by Team Peters. Peters throwing red, just looking to score with the hammer to win this game and get their first win of this event. Team Gibault sitting at 1-2, throwing yellow. They need to steal to pick up a second win and keep their playoff hopes alive. Peters just running off that center guard. That higher guard off the center line is not really much of a threat for Team Peters. It's going to be tough to make use of that. Even so, the placement of those two red stones by lead Emerson Klimke is so good. some point, Jabot's going to have to come into the rings and deal with those because they're really problematic for them. Team Jabot second, Marc-Antoine Biron. So just looking to put up another guard. Getting very, very close to the rings. Stops in time. Good shot. Pretty simple formula for Team Peters. Just keep the middle open. Keep running off these guards one at a time. Don't have to get greedy and triangular too. Because sooner or later, Team Jabot is going to have to make a play on those reds that are in the top of the forefoot. Probably talking about whether this is the time. The first of third stones.
Knowing it's next point wins, instead of blasting them, do you ever come down with just soft weight to try and almost create a basket or a jam where you force them to make the big move and maybe you get a little lucky?
Oh yeah,
something rattles around and sticks for a shot.
Yeah, no, you're never blasting these because the only hope you've got as the team without the hammer is you got to keep rocks in play, and especially you want to keep rocks behind the tee line to create jam possibilities. You got to do more setup stuff. The team that would like to blast rocks out of the way is Team Peters, having the hammer. They want things to be as simple as possible. So yeah, but because there are, again, I was mentioning how those two rocks are in such good position for Team Peters, it's going to take a couple of shots to move them the way you want. So I feel like they probably have to make a play on these now. Maybe just get one behind the tee line for the moment.
Yeah, you move the one that's on the top of the forefoot center line. Maybe leaves you a tap on your other one to come in at an angle. Just something, right? You're going to have to get a little creative.
Yeah, you're going to have to get creative, and at some point, you're probably going to need some kind of mistake from Team
half
Peters.
shot.
A half shot, a jam, whatever.
Yeah.
Not sure if they were trying. I think they were trying to tap the red. Maybe.
I think
undercurled a bit.
I think what happened was, from looking at it, they it undercurled a bit, so they were sweeping to hold the line, thinking they could maybe play a tap on the yellow, just a plan B.
Yeah,
is what it looked like compared to what was discussed.
Yeah, not a bad result though. I mean,
I like the result.
That top yellow is not going anywhere.
And you create a little more separation with that yellow on the side for them. And obviously you can see Peters is now talking about what do we do because of the situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's no getting rid of that yellow stone that's split in the center line right now.
And I like the suggestion that was just made there about hitting that yellow and just kind of rolling in and creating a little more of a cluster, some bad angles.
Yeah,
I like it. I don't know if you do. I don't know if the rest of their team does, but
I don't think it's bad. Yeah. I do like eliminating yellow. I'm not going to lie about that. I almost wonder if it's worth, if you do play a hit on that yellow stone that's on the left as third shot at the moment, try and catch maybe half or less and see if you can roll in and maybe get your red out of the way and change the angles a little bit.
Yeah.
Just try and disturb that lineup in the center somehow. Play on that, and they could easily be sitting 3.
Yeah, no, it's there for sure, right? And we just cleared the top guard, and now it's...
Yeah, and they did talk about that, like
Yep.
simplifying. So now we're talking about, all right, how best do we approach this? You need to move those reds. You've got 3 rocks. I mean, plenty of shots left. I mean, this 6 stones yet to come, and I feel like this could potentially take a little bit. Talking about how best to deal with this. I still don't know if you want to slam these. I don't think you do.
No, I'm with you. I kind of like the idea of just soft pushbacks,
Yeah.
right? Just back for, create a pocket,
Yeah,
create
yeah,
a basket, create a, I don't know, whatever you want to call it for
Yeah.
yourself. Or,
Catcher's mitt or something.
yeah,
Those.
catcher's mitt, jam opportunity.
I think if there was a way to play something on the nose, try and keep those yellows straight lined up. Maybe move both these reds behind the tee line.
Yeah, I think you need to throw like back 8 to move both stones to the back 4. Because you're moving...
I feel like you probably got to throw closer to back line. You're moving
Okay.
a lot. You're moving a lot of granite, and
Yep.
you're also the shot stone is not going to catch very much. You're basically
Yep.
hitting 2
Okay.
rocks to move 1.
I like back line.
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
live with that.
I mean, back there somewhere, right?
Yeah.
We're splitting hairs basically, but
Yeah, you don't need to blast it, but you're
No.
also not throwing back 4 because you want the stones to go back 4.
right. They need to move. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like probably around back line to maybe even space would be close. So with this broom, they might be throwing a guard. They were talking about that.
They did discuss it.
Yeah.
And then I think what the plan was is to probably make a play on the outside one.
Okay. Well, this guard goes up.
Yeah.
I think it's a virtual guarantee that Team Peters is just going to peel it. It's going to be coming into the rings.
Deeper than they wanted, and also kind of messed their angles a little.
Yeah.
I feel like if I'm red now, I don't know why. My gut tells me hit that top yellow that they just threw and get rid of a couple of them.
Yeah,
They're going to spring.
I feel like that might actually be because they actually, before that stone was thrown, Team Peters really had no way of getting rid of that yellow on the center line. Now they do.
Exactly.
They can spring it. They can actually scatter most of the rocks, open it way up, and it's way better for them if they do that.
Absolutely, totally advantage Peters at this point,
Yeah,
right?
I feel like yes. As long as they properly execute if they decide to play on this, because I don't know what else they do. Really, really interesting setup. You know, you do hate to make anything for the opponent, but you just got to look at, like, what do they have right now? I mean,
yeah, and I mean, I guess we've always played, you know, in my competitive days, when you have the hammer and an extra, to basically try and set yourself up for a draw to the 4-foot or 8-foot on the very last stone.
Yes.
Just win it with that stone,
Yes.
as opposed to
trying to, like, protect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, something could just go awry.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Whether that's good philosophy or not, I don't know.
It's
But that's what we've always kind of agreed to as a team.
Sure. Well, and if you've curled long enough, you definitely have seen your fair share of things go awry, and you know it can happen to anybody at any time. So I wonder. So it looks like they're probably taking aim at that one that was just thrown there. I don't know if they're necessarily trying to get to the nose and move all of them, or if they're maybe... I was thinking if they just let it sort of jam on the left one. Let's see. Okay. So that was the play. Just let it jam on the side. See, now down to skip stones. Now I almost wonder if maybe it is time to just go ahead and slam and get these out of
Well,
here.
now, again, those angles are just slightly so changed where if you're yellow, you hit that one, you're now sitting 3.
Yeah.
And all 3 of yours are in front of the 4-foot. You've
Yeah.
created a little wall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wonder if now the time has come to just make sure these reds go. Because there's a, you know, you make that one of the goals in an extra end like this, you know, it's tied. If you don't have the hammer, if you can't set up a real good steal behind the guard, try and make your opponent throw against 2.
Yep.
And there's a really good chance that Team Jabot will have that chance.
Yeah, you know, I think if you can get just to the left side of center,
Just a hair. Mhm.
just a hair,
Yep.
because that'll still get rid of both reds, but then you'll be sitting essentially 3 wide across the 4-foot.
Yeah.
Holding steady-ish at 78 viewers, but no comments on if anybody's ever been a part of a blank extra end.
So I guess nobody listening has.
Yeah. Or has availability to a keyboard.
That too. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, it looks like they're gonna. Jabot's gonna go ahead and just clear these reds out of here. Like in a perfect world, you'd like to hit this right on the nose and leave that line up straight on the center line. It's the first rock of this extra end for Jasmine Gibault. Ooh, I like it.
Yep, that is exactly what we kind of had discussed. A touch off of
Yeah.
center. It kind of wiggled theirs over a little bit. Now you're
Yep.
2.5 stones wide and covering
Yep.
the forefoot. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's
It would have been nice if he'd stayed right on the nose and kept a line up to the button. Instead, it rolls kind of to where the one thrown is not going anywhere.
yeah.
But Adam Flack can just throw this hard, make sure 2 go. So looking to clear a couple. One being hit isn't going to go very far, but trying to scatter the 2 others. Ooh. Hit that a little bit on the wide side. Only got it to the side of the 8-foot.
Okay.
Not that it really changes a whole lot. I feel like it's not really going to change.
We're talking about
coming
coming top button. Do you draw there or do you tap the one that's in the 8-foot just so that way you can maybe be more dead buried? Because you're not gonna. There isn't gonna be enough curl with that short a distance to.
Yeah. I mean, the draw is always going to be an easier shot than the tap.
Yep.
So probably the draw. I mean, knowing you're not going to get fully buried, I think that's part of it. You know, leave it 3/4 open, and then you're going to make Adam Flack on his last think about, all right, do I try and follow that and tap it? It is 1/4 buried. Do I try the nose double? But I can't try the double because of that third shot that could be on the left over there. So yeah, it's interesting.
The one thing you can't be is deep.
Yeah, deep is disaster.
Yep.
Even like top 12 is fine. It's not great, but
it's better than a foot deep.
It's better than back 4 all day.
And it looks like they're indicating with the broom that they only wanted it top 8 anyway.
Yeah, that's very possible.
Yeah.
I feel like if the line is good, you might as well try and bring this all the way to the button if you can. Looks pretty good. Decent shot.
Yeah, it needs to be close to full 4.
Yeah.
And they're looking at potentially there if they were to throw that double, would they outcount? But it looks like they quickly shook that off.
Yeah, no, and the angle being what it is, it might catch the side one, but you're just drawing here all day. So hats off to Team Gibault. I think they've done just about all they can in this end to try and generate a steal, and making your opponent throw against 3 has got to be a good half rock in the 4-foot to win.
And out of curiosity, we're playing a 9th end, an extra end, draw to win it, full 4. I'm going to try and get a time hog to hog just to see how well this ice is holding up.
Okay. So final stone of the game underway from Adam Flatt. Needs to draw basically full 4-foot against 3 Gibault counters. Doesn't look like line is an issue. It's all about weight. They're going hard. Gotta go hard. I don't think it's going to get there. Oh.
Oh.
What
That
did we get?
I had low 14th. I had 14-2.
Okay. So not terrifically fast. But, doesn't quite get there. That's going to go in the books. Looks like a steal of 1 and an 8-7 win. Jasmine Gibault gets the second win. They're going to stay alive in the playoff picture, and that's a really good game. Really hope you all enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking over it. Eric, it was good to have you back in the booth here.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here for the second half.
Absolutely. And that'll do it for our coverage and do it for myself personally from the Ed Werenich Golden Wrench Classic in Coyotes Curling Club, Tempe, Arizona. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll be back with the next draw at 2 p.m. Mountain Time.